Baikonur is certainly one of the most recognizable places in Kazakhstan. It is not only a functioning spaceport, but a real symbol of human genius and a monument to scientific progress on our Earth. The launches of the first space rockets, the first satellite, and the first man were carried out from here. Unfortunately, after the collapse of the USSR, the issue of Baikonur was a point of sharp contention, both for the Russian Federation, which inherited the Union, and for Kazakhstan. It is important to realize that at that time, the young Central Asian Republic had no specialists for independent work on Baikonur. There were no funds to finance such a costly industry as space exploration nor space programs. In addition, environmental issues were actively discussed before the collapse of the USSR. The facts of large-scale pollution of nature throughout the Union caused a powerful environmental movement. Specifically, in Kazakhstan, the issue of heptyl fuel and the drop fields of spent rocket stages arose. In any case, the determination of the status of Baikonur played an important role in the overall context of relations with a strategic important partner, the Russian Federation. Nursultan Nazarbayev needed to solve a difficult task: to find an acceptable compromise in a situation where Russia itself did not allow spending large amounts of money on space exploration. At the same time, the first president sought not just to find mutually acceptable solutions, but also to use the considerable potential of Baikonur in the interests of Kazakhstan's development. The first such experience was acquired during the Soviet era, when Nursultan Nazarbayev raised the issue of training the first Kazakh cosmonaut. On January 12, 1991, he visited Baikonur for the first time as president of the Kazakh SSR, where he made a political statement. At the press conference, in front of the journalists, he directly expressed Kazakhstan's intention to participate in space exploration, among other things. Nursultan Nazarbayev publicly raised the question of the need to send our cosmonauts into space. Subsequently, on this occasion, difficult negotiations with the Union authorities began at the highest level. As a result, the Kazakh leader managed to achieve a decision on the flight of the first Kazakh cosmonaut. October 2nd, 1991 was a historic day. Tokhtar Albakirov was the first Kazakh to fly into space. This fall, the Soyuz TM-13T spacecraft is scheduled to launch from the terminal point on the Mir space station. I believe that now is the best time to establish historical justice. Therefore, I propose to include a Kazakh cosmonaut in the crew. Shortly after this grandiose event, the USSR collapsed. Due to a sharp reduction in funding by the Russian side, the complex began to gradually decline. The number of space launches significantly decreased. In addition, highly qualified specialists who worked at various facilities of the complex began to leave Baikonur. The world-famous spaceport was in limbo. Eventually, after a long and difficult negotiation, the tipping point came. On March 28, 1994, Kazakhstan and Russia signed an agreement on the basic principles and conditions for the use of the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Within the framework of this document, it was agreed to lease the complex to the Russian side. In December of the same year, the two governments signed an agreement on the lease of the Cosmodrome for a period of 20 years with a possible extension for another 10 years. The foundation of a new format of bilateral cooperation on Baikonur was laid by this agreement. It was a demonstration of the aerobatics of the negotiations art, when not having a strong negotiating position. Nursultan Nazarbayev achieved the most optimal result for Kazakhstan. As time has shown, the decision made by the Kazakh leader at that time was correct. Today, Baikonur plays an important role in strengthening ties between Kazakhstan and Russia, and thanks to joint use of the complex, Kazakhstan has been able to develop its space program. So on July 1st, 1994, Talgat Musabayev became the second Kazakh cosmonaut in space. After that, he made 2 such flights, and in 2015, Aydin Aimbetov went into space. In addition, according to the Lease agreement, Kazakhstani personnel are trained in Russian educational institutions on an annual quota, joining the ranks of our young space industry. Even today, Kazakhstan is ready to play a more independent role and be, if not quite an equal partner for Russia in matters of space exploration, a regular participant in new projects, both in construction and spacewalking. In addition, even if we do not know for sure which of them will be implemented in the near future and which will take more time, we know exactly how strategic Nursultan Nazarbayev was when he made the decisions on Baikonur in the first and most difficult years of our independence.